I mean, just God's been kind. If your mind's in the right place, if
Mm,
you're thinking about the right thing, you have the right kind of vision,
mm,
and to keep following regardless of all the noise around you, the
yeah,
results follow. If you
yeah.
look at the numbers, you keep striving for the numbers, then the numbers go down, the career goes down, everything is lost.
So what are
That's
you
something that
striving?
I
What do you strive for now? Every time you come out and bat, whether it be for RCB or for India. What like, are you just you're just thinking end game is to win, and how do I win this game? You're not thinking about anything. There's no other clutter.
not at all, not at all. For me, the most important thing is how can I contribute to make my team win? Because that is what we started playing cricket for, when
Mm,
we were really, very small. So
yeah.
I don't think why that intent should change, why that mindset should change.
Mm,
It hasn't honestly changed with me. There's a lot of things that people try and create in India. They try and cook things up, stir things up. You
yeah.
have experienced that a lot when you were playing as well. So
Yeah.
it's basically you just have to block the noise. And whenever I go to bat now, I understand that cricket is a small part of our lives, and I need to be able to make the most of the opportunity that I have in front of me.
Yeah. Of
And I have a larger responsibility now, to be able to maintain this culture of fitness, of
course.
taking the team in the right direction. And I mean, you just have to be grateful that you have this opportunity, and you
Yeah.
just need to make sure all your energy is in the right place to be able to do that.
Where did your nickname Chiku come from?
Chiku actually came from, MS has sort of made my nickname famous from behind the stumps. In the stump mics, people pick up. They call me Chiku actually like I'm their neighbor or something like that in India. They'll shout out, "Oh, Chiku, once photo, please." And I'm like, I have a name. You don't know me, but you can't call me Chiku.
Jesus. So when this all finishes, you're gonna walk down the street, Chiku.
Yeah, I get called out by the name of Chiku all the time. No one calls me Virat anymore. Either Kohli or Chiku. That's it.
It's amazing, man. I come
Um,
to India and they all call me Peter. I'm saying, who the fuck's Peter? Peter. 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 Fuck is Peter?
no, I got this nickname by a coach we had in the state team, actually the Ranji Trophy, our first class teams. And I used to have big cheeks back then. And I had in
You
2000, I remember
sorry. You used to have what?
big cheeks.
Big cheeks.
Cheeks, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying. I didn't hear you correctly.
I had big cheeks back
Yeah.
then. In
Digger.
2007, I thought I'm losing hair. My hair's shedding. I'm having a massive hair fall. So I got my hair cut really short like yours now. I look like a clown, and I have big ears. So my my cheeks stood out and my ears stood out. And so we used to have this comic in India, like a comic book when we were growing up
Yeah.
called Champak. It was called Champak,
Yeah.
and there was a rabbit in that comic.
Yeah.
That character's name was Chiku. So the coach called me Chiku the rabbit because I had big ears. So that's where the nickname came from. And then people started taking it up, and it went up to God knows where.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And
Mm.
tell me, RCB, a lot of people since this thing went out. I've had such a busy phone in the last 24 hours. I mean, it's crazy. Why? And one of the big things was they want to ask why have RCB not won a title yet? I mean, we get asked it all the time. We have to try and explain it in the commentary box. It's like, oh my god, geez, just stop asking the same question. Do you get sick of the same
Actually,
questions?
look, when you have in like history in the previous seasons as well, when you've had the biggest players who played for RCB, obviously there's going to be much more attention on the team. Now you see, even with this team, myself, AB, Chris Gale, Dale had played recently as well, and
Yeah.
all these big players have played for RCB. So we're always going to be more in focus. But we actually spoke about it. We've reached three finals. We haven't
Mm.
won either single one of them. We've reached three semifinals. But yeah, those things are irrelevant. Those things are irrelevant as till the time you don't win that title. So look, we feel the same as everyone, to be honest. We keep
Mm.
talking about winning the team that we have. We've, even when we've had the best teams, we've just not been able to do it. But yeah, that's one of our main goals. We actually deserve to win a title, to be honest, because
Is that something that you are focused on now? We'll move on to Indian cricket in a minute, but is that something that, I mean, you've achieved almost every single thing in the game. Your numbers are crazy. Do you really want to win an IPL?
Actually, I've realized something, that to go after something so badly, it keeps running away from you. And I remember all the times when we've done well in RCB, we've never thought of whether we're going to win the IPL or whether we're going to reach the semis or knockouts or anything like that. But it's just that added pressure whenever we've played in the recent past. We've just thought, this is the season, and it's just blown us all over the place. So I think we just need to get that joy back. And at this stage of my life, to be honest, I give everything that I have on the field.
How old are you now?
Like I'm going to be 32 this year.
32?
Yes, sir.
Jesus. Okay. No, I wouldn't have guessed that. Oh. I would have get 38, 39, somewhere around there.
32, 31. I'm 88 born, so how old am I now? I can't even count. I was shit at math.
There's the headline tomorrow. Virat doesn't know how old he is.
I'm 31. I'm 31 at the moment. Yeah.
If that's as bad as it gets, then we've done really well in this session.
I'm 31.
31?
Yeah.
Okay. And we get on to Indian cricket, and we talked about your transformation from 2009 to the person that you are now, and how fit you are, and how structured you are, and how much you train. Was that something that you desperately wanted to bring to Indian cricket? I remember playing against India when my first time I played against India was 2006. We toured India after that 2005 Ashes, and there was Tendulkar, Laxman, Dravid, Kumble, Harbhajan, Ajit Agarkar, Zahir Khan, Ashish Nehra. All these guys were playing. And I mean, you'd hit it to extra cover and you'd run 4. Yes, no problem. You just run 4. Whereas now, the team that you've got, you hit it to extra cover, you don't even think about running. Is that something that you've been so focused on and dedicated to bring into Indian cricket, that strive to make sure that in the field, we're the best?
Look, I started playing in 2008. I saw 2009, 10, 11 is when we won the World Cup. When you played that shit shot and we drew the game in Bangalore. 11 is when I got you out stumped down the leg side without bowling a legitimate.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Just talk about you.
Okay. So I saw 2009, 10, 11. These were my regular years with India. and then 12, that England tour when we came to England in 2011.
Yeah.
We lost badly there.
You did.
2012,
you got whacked.
2012 Australia tour was a difficult one as well. So I thought, there's always a natural transition that happens in every team. And I was lucky that I was in the center of that transition when it was happening. And I got the opportunity to see both sides of things, like what we were lacking as a side and what the world was catching up on, and they were becoming far more superior compared to us. So the plan was clear. I mean, when the next lot of players come in, this is the direction we're going to go in. And to be honest, I was lucky that I played with a group of players who were driven, similar age group, and together from number 7 or 8 in the world in Test cricket. For 3 years now, we've been number 1. So it's
our reason.
It's been quite an astonishing journey. It's quite unbelievable, to be honest, because we had no experience and we beat everyone, most places. We competed everywhere we went in the world, and it's just that to be able to come to the top of world cricket again has been a great journey. But then again, it gave us a vision, a goal to achieve, and all our focus was towards that.
And with the IPL, you see a lot of teams that come to India now, and they're a lot more competitive. I remember we came to India and actually beat India in 2011, 2012, and that's because a lot of us actually feel at home in India as foreigners. India have an issue traveling abroad. They have a real issue traveling abroad. What do you think the biggest issue for you guys is traveling abroad? I'm talking results.
Now, to be honest, before when we used to tour, it used to happen sporadically. Like we would come to England every 3 or 4 years, and in between there was nothing. But India, you guys would come every year for the IPL and get used to the conditions and so on and so forth. But now when there's so much cricket happening, we don't feel any conditions are alien, to be honest. Now
Right.
I feel like now traveling to other countries and playing at home is a level field. Anyone can beat anyone anywhere because we're
Yeah.
playing each other so much in different conditions all the time. Australia, I remember we went to Australia for a whole tour, and then suddenly 3 weeks after that, they were in India playing ODIs against us.
Yeah.
That would never happen before. So now it's not a question of whether we know the conditions or not. It's all about the mindset, the fatigue, whether you play too much cricket, whether you're ready mentally, physically or not. So I think those are the challenges now. Now we don't feel like any condition is sort of alien to us, and that I think is the most exciting part.
Do you feel like you play too much? I remember in my career, I was having huge arguments and disagreements with the ECB because of my schedule. And all I wanted the ECB to manage was my schedule because I was playing every T20 game, every one-day international, every test match cricket. And I didn't want to miss out on the IPL, which is what guys
Yeah.
don't miss out on now. Do you feel like you play too much cricket?
Look, I've been taking breaks, honestly. I felt like last 2, 3 seasons I was doing too much, so I started
Yeah.
taking breaks every now and then, T20 matches here and there, maybe a ODI series here and there, because I didn't want to miss any Test cricket, to be honest. And T20 cricket in between, I just felt like there were too many games that had no relevance, and
Mm.
I'd spoken about it in the press as well quite a few times that you just can't have matches where you have zero sort of motivation or energy, and I
Yeah.
don't like to play like that.
Yeah.
But I've just thought about it. I've been playing 3 formats for 9 years now, including the IPL, along with captaincy for 6 years. So it's not easy. It's not easy.
No.
But
No.
I'll see. I'll see. I said 2, 3 years more. I think till the next World Cup. I'm gonna give it all and then figure out where I stand, which format, what not, all those questions later.
And obviously the one of the biggest changes that you've made, and I know that, I mean, I campaign for wildlife all the time, and the thing that people hammer me the most about is eating meat. Now,
Mm.
you're vegetarian, you made that decision because believe me, in 2009, 2010, when we hung out, you weren't a vegetarian. you're now,
No, no.
you're
I
now a
wasn't.
now
Yeah,
a
I
vegetarian.
wasn't a vegetarian till 2018 when we actually came to England. I left eating meat just before the Test series started, and
Why?
I'd been thinking about it. I'll tell you the real reason. I mean, people use different kinds of reasons and they try
Yeah.
and figure out themselves. So in 2018, when we went to South Africa, I got a cervical spine issue while playing a Test match
You got
at
what?
Centurion. A cervical spine issue. One of the discs in my cervical spine, they bulged out and it compressed a nerve which was running straight till the little finger of my right hand. So it gave me a tingling sensation. I could barely feel my little finger on the right hand. I
Wow.
couldn't sleep at night. Yeah, it was hurting like mad. I couldn't sleep at night, and then I got my test done, and my stomach was too acidic. So my body was creating too much uric acid. My body was too acidic. So what was
Wow.
happening was, even though I was taking calcium, magnesium, everything, one tablet was not sufficient for my body to function properly. So my stomach started pulling calcium from my bones, and my bones got weaker, and that's why I got this issue. So that's why
Wow.
I stopped eating meat completely in the middle of the England tour to cut down that uric acid and the acidity in my body. And then I've never felt better in my life, to be honest. I felt amazing. It's almost been 2 years now, and it's the best decision I've taken in my life.
Really? It's amazing. I mean, you
It's
look,
been unbelievable.
yeah, you look amazing. And I mean, I've tried that now. So I've seen all this and I watched that film, that Game Changers or
Mm.
whatever, that film.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
you were part of that film. And I mean, I have vegetarian days. Jess and I have vegetarian days at home. And you do feel so light. You feel amazing, don't you?
yeah, amazing. I mean, I've never felt better waking up. I've never
Yeah.
felt better when I have to recover after a game. I mean, if you make me play 3 games a week, which are intense, I'm at it 120% every game. I can recover within a day after a test match and go on another test match. It's so much better than being on meat. Being vegetarian now made me feel honestly, I felt like why didn't I do it before? I should have done it two, three
Yeah.
years earlier, to
Yeah.
be honest. It's completely changed everything. You start feeling better, you start thinking better, your body's lighter, you're more positive, you have more energy to do more. So yes, overall it's just been an amazing, amazing change. Are you guys doing it as well?
Thank goodness I don't have to play 3 games a week because there's no way in this world a South African can go without meat, dude. I do it for maybe one day or 2 days a week. If I'm feeling really generous, I'll give it 2 days. But there's no ways. I just can't do it. I mean, I got a beautiful barbecue out here. I mean, as much as I would love to, as much as you're trying to sell a great story, it just. I mean, and I do feel great. And that movie, mate, that Game Changers film that I watched, it really does paint a really good picture. But I just couldn't do it, mate. Couldn't do it. No way.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
you talk about that ability to be able to turn on every single day. I was running on a treadmill in geez, I don't know where it was, and MS came and jumped on the treadmill next to me. And first of all, to see MS in the gym at that stage, I was like, oh, Jesus, what are you doing in here? And we started talking about you and started talking about your leadership. It was at the time that he was just starting to finish in that. And he said one of the things that he said that would interest him would be whether or not you would be able to maintain that energy on the field, that excitement on the field, that aggressive leadership on the field. And I said to him, I said, Jesus, I said, surely you cannot love cricket that much that you want to just start swinging punches every time you walk out onto the field. and you've done it. Why is it because of your diet, or is it because of what's in between your ears? Not that there's much there. What is it?
Yeah, there's a bit of crazy up here as well. I wouldn't deny it.
I know.
But look, as I said, I mean, I know, and you can ask MS that as well. When I played under MS, I was in his ears every over. Maybe we can do this. Maybe we can do that. If there was a time where you had to field on the boundary, I would run from long on to long on. I wanted to be in the right place at the right time. Even now, even if I'm captain or not, I don't think standing on the field I need to behave myself because I'm captain. I need to be able to enjoy the game first and think about strategy and all that later, because that is who I am. So I cannot play any other way. I will give 120% every ball. And I made a promise to myself, the day I stop feeling like I can do it, I'll stop playing.
Really?
I want to be able to play till the time I play the way I play right now, with the same intensity.
So we're going to have to keep talking over the next few years about how you want us to jump in a UFC ring every time you up on a cricket field.
I just like to get it going.
I was going to swear a little bit, but I'll stop.
That's what my teammates and bowlers say as well. They say, you celebrate more than us when we take a wicket.
I mean,
I said, I can't control myself.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing, yeah.
I spoke to Rogan last week. And we were talking about sledging, and we were talking about aggression on the field. And he said, well, we do have a fairly aggressive leader. And I just started pissing myself. I was like, oh, yes, just a very... I mean,
that helps.
Huh?
Yeah, that surely helps. Anyone who's feeling a bit, whether I should say something or not, they just need to look at me and say, no problems, go for it.
But clearly you love the dudes off the field, and you just get into that. It's called white line fever, isn't it? Where you get over that white line, and I know there's millions of people who are going to watch this and are seeing this. You just have the white line fever where you will just do anything within the